Hey everyone, this is Cindy Drozda back again. Um, I just did a walk around live stream in the American Association of Woodturners National Symposium in Louisville, Kentucky, Instant Gallery, which is a place where all of the participants in the symposium, the everyday people who come here, bring a few pieces of their work. We also end up with some kind of famous people who might be demonstrators that bring pieces of their work. And so you get everything from the top in the world to everybody's first bowl. And I just ran into my friend Keith Gotschall, and he wants to show his work. I did put his work in that last live stream, but here we have Keith in person.
Well, hi, everybody. Cindy, you wanted to talk a little bit about the pieces that I brought?
I do. Okay. And so here's Keith, and I'm going to show you his work, and he's going to tell you what he would like to say about them. And speak up, Keith, because the microphone's in this thing.
Okay. Well, this is a new series that I'm working on. I kind of call it inclusion. And inclusion, of course, it's when you get everybody together, but in geology, it means when a piece that is different than the matrix kind of comes in. And so that's where this idea of like a kind of a different piece of wood is being inserted into the bowl, kind of that idea. But really for me, these are almost like small models of heroic size sculpture. I could see these pieces as maybe in a cityscape, in a city park, something like that.
Oh yeah, so, totally. 10 feet tall or something?
Yeah, well, even bigger, maybe 20 feet tall. Wow. And maybe
so
this
you want
is...
to start with this one?
Sure. So it's a piece of ebony and wenge, but imagine if this was an infinity pool that was just kind of spilling over endlessly and had this big backdrop here.
20 feet tall.
20 feet tall. That would be cool,
Whoa.
Wouldn't it? That's kind of my ideas with this. And of course, a piece of burl like this, it almost lends itself into a borrowed landscape.
And would that be bronze or would it be wood?
Well, you couldn't really do wood that big, but stone sounds really cool. And stone often has that figure that wood does.
Indeed.
So I'm having a ball with that. And a kind of bonus to the whole thing is when I cut a square recess out of a bowl that's been well turned, you get this beautiful sweet curve on the inside.
Every wood turner should cut their bowl in half to see how well they did.
That's right.
And yes, Keith has a flawless curve there in his bowl, only revealed when he cuts into it, like with all these others. And those of us who do some level of woodworking will also applaud Keith on his joinery there, where the pieces come into the bowls. I'm gonna. Well, you want to talk about this one here?
Sure. Well, when you do something that's really simple like this, it's got to be perfect. If the joint isn't right, it really leaps out at you.
Right.
So this is kind of continuing on with that idea of inclusion, and so this shaft was. The hole that I had to bore through there is just inside of center line. So this is actually captured by the bowl.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
And then there's also a mating recess in the piece of mahogany to kind of act as a...
Now, would you make this 20 feet tall?
Oh, man. Well, why not? Maybe. Why not?
And you're going to let people swim in it?
Well, the other thing that you could think about this is, what if this was a solid surface? So rather than being a dish, I think if you blow it up that big, you either have to fill it with water or just cap it off, because it'll end up just collecting.
It's going to collect stuff anyway.
Trash and who knows what. But if this was solid, then I could imagine people at lunchtime kind of having their lunch around this, or a meeting place. Maybe this is the height of a bench that people are sitting around. So lots of fun things could happen with people interacting on a big scale. But I make them little because the wood movement and all that is somewhat negated by the size of it again.
Yeah, I don't know as though you'd want an outdoor piece that big made out of wood anyway.
No, of course not.
But here, this one is delightful. I love the interplay of line and shape and the interrupted things, but this one's not really interrupted at all. It's just a collection of shapes.
Yeah, to me, it does relate to the others, though. That kind of monolith piece of walnut in the back. Again, if we scale that up, that becomes quite large and has a presence of its own. So this is small scale sculpture for your desktop, maybe.
Yes. And this is a delightful little pink ivory cup. The bead around it, just precision unbelievable. And I think I appreciate that precision more in a small piece than I would if it was 20 feet tall.
Right.
But yeah, I could totally see this really tall. And if you want to be practical about things, you could plant flowers in it and they'd be way up above your head. And
I mean, I'm not really worried about use on things like this.
Although you did just talk about sitting on the bench over there, using the surface, and that got me thinking: how else might an interactive sculpture in a public place be interacted with? Use is the wrong word, I think here. More like, how will we interact with this in the world? So let's go look at it straight on, and where we see the what would you call that? The superimposed turned shape on a very crisp block of straight lines. Interaction there.
It's almost a framing in the middle.
Yeah, it really is. And I like that interplay of different shapes and lines. We woodturners get so hung up on round stuff. And so this is cool. Okay, so Keith, you are also a demonstrator. Yes.
Yeah, I've got to do 4 rotations here and 2 panels, and also did an intimate critique on hollow forms on Friday. So it's been a very busy weekend. Of course, it's meeting all the people here that the best thing for me.
I agree, yeah.
And Cindy and I have been friends for many years.
Oh, there's a good backstory there, which we will get to another time.
And we've worked together in other people's shops. And
let's try something here.
Okay.
And here we are.
Yeah. And so the
camera's right here, I think.
We have been good friends for a long time, and also workmates, and working side by side with Cindy for as long as I have. We've developed a very close bond. And Cindy, you're the best.
Oh, Keith, it's great to see you here. And I always enjoy Keith because his sense of humor, his love of life, and his incredible woodworking skill add up to a really good experience and a great friend too. So thank you very much, Keith. We're going to end the broadcast and say goodbye to everyone. I know this is awkward. Bye-bye.
Bye.